Hi everyone, welcome back to my 60 new Einsetzen Ansetzen exercises. This is day 8. So today's exercise is based upon one that's included in the EDPR ebook available on my website, link in the description. I wrote in that section about how the moving from Einsetzen to Ansetzen is most beneficial when done quickly. And that's because you don't have time to mess around trying to find what feels normal in terms of lip position, mouthpiece placement, all of this sort of stuff. There's also the fact that your lips, this one being the bottom, this one being the top, as the bottom lip rolls back in from the Einsetzen position to the Ansetzen position, the alignment between the top and the bottom lip actually goes through every possible combination. And often if you're aiming for a particular target, say you're going from double pedal C up to a G, you might actually hit that pitch with the lip in a slightly more rolled out or slightly more rolled in position than you're used to, and you may find that position is more efficient, or that it has a better sound, or that you're actually getting a much more vibrant sound for less effort. And this discovery process, whilst mostly unconscious, you can occasionally have a conscious breakthrough and go, okay, wow, actually if I set my lip like this, I can hit a note exactly as I want it. I don't want it to sound like that last one, it was terrible. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this exercise for today. What we do is we start on double pedal C, we slide and or gliss from that note up 2 octaves to bottom C, or to low C, then back down to the double pedal note again, and then up to G, down again, and back up to the next C. So we're just using 3 harmonics and the double pedal, and then we'll reverse that process all the way back down. Now, like all of the other exercises, a lot of the other exercises, when I say it, you can do it on all 7 positions, all 7 fingering combinations. But what I want to do with this video, hopefully it works out, I actually haven't played for a couple hours. What I actually want to do is demonstrate how you can learn mouthpiece independence. And what I mean by that is independence from your equipment. As soon as you learn exactly the position that the lips need to be in and the amount of air power required, that in combination those 2 things create the correct interoral pressure, the air pressure inside of your mouth. When all of those things line up, you get the right note, and it doesn't matter how big this is, how small this is, how if you're playing on a shorter trumpet, all of that sort of stuff, it doesn't actually make, those things don't make it easier. Sure, there are certainly advantages to, say, using a larger mouthpiece for getting to being in resonant pitch center if you're playing lower parts, and similarly if you're playing high music, it's easier, less physical effort to stay in the upper register for a long time on the smaller gear. But it's not about the mouthpiece actually assisting you in making those notes come out in the first place. This is a very similar argument to what I say when I'm talking to people about, I was chatting to a guy the other day who was saying, oh yeah, it's great you can play all this stuff, but really it just depends on how often you're doing it, how much you're playing. And because of the situation, I said, yeah, I guess you're right. But I did disagree. Because the way I see it is that if you know how to play a note, it doesn't matter if you haven't played for 2 weeks or 2 months, you know what it feels like and you know how to make it. Now, that's not the same thing as stamina. That's not the same thing as, maybe you can usually play a G over high C at fortissimo, and because you've had a few weeks off, you can play it like MF or a little bit more than MF. But your ability to produce that sound on your instrument, it's not dependent on you bashing away at playing for hours on end. You should always be wary when people say to you that their chops fall apart if they don't play for a few days. They've clearly not been taught to play properly. And this is, you know, something that's just that's really mad. You know, one of my old teachers, every gig I do with him, he's sat there moaning about his chops, and it's like, well, you know, it's too late for me to teach you how to play. You're you know, you've already got 30 years more experience than I have. Okay, right, so let's get on with the exercise. I seem to be just chatting and there's no need for that. So, starting on double pedal C. I find that as I play through this, I actually end up using less and less pressure because the mouthpiece is constantly moving moving away from my face as I make the shift from Ansetzen to Einsetzen, and so actually yeah, you end up not putting the pressure back on. You realise that it's all about coordinating the lips. I haven't really mentioned the tongue. It is in there. When the bottom lip comes back in, it always meets the front or the tip of the tongue. Don't forget about that. Keep the tongue thick and wide between the teeth. Okay, so I'm going to do this a few more times on different fingerings. Let's go first valve. Okay. Two and three. I really wasn't concentrating at the end. I missed the pitch of that. It's really, when you do a lot of double pedal notes in this way, it makes your nose itch. It's quite funny. Okay, so this is the thing. If I was to take this sort of movement and extend it like it is in the Exploring the Double Pedal Register ebook, it goes like this. And so there, that last one, I'm slurring. Is that 5 octaves or 4? So double pedal C up 2 to low C, 3, 4. No, it's 4 octaves. So let's not get too excited. But this is the thing, is that, you know, there's none of this hitting all the harmonics on the way. I'm not going or, you know, that's not what's happening here. I'm actually just going from the double pedal note. The lips come into position for the note that I want, and then there it is. So so when I know how that note's going to feel, it's just there. It's all about just putting things in the right place, and I'm not using physical force with my embouchure at all. Really, it's just resisting the flow of the air that I'm pushing from within to manipulate the air pressure in my mouth. So there we have it. Thanks for watching. I know that this has ended up being a bit of a long video, but well, why not? If you're going to put one out, you know, every day for 2 months, it doesn't hurt to have a little bit of explanation along the way. So hopefully you've enjoyed this. I'm literally just hanging on till like it hits the 10-minute mark. So.